What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm the Crockneck.
I'm Jammin' John.
And we fucking survived it. We did it. We went to MDF 2022, and now here we are back in the Thralls hangar, or whatever we're fucking calling it.
The Thralls Den.
Den of Thralls. I don't know. We don't have a name for it.
I like Den of Thralls.
Den of Thralls isn't bad. That isn't bad.
What do you think?
Well, we figured we'd do something we haven't done in a while, and I mean, since this was a momentous, giant-sized fucking event, we do a live show review. And holy shit, what an experience.
I'd be lying to anyone that asks if I didn't say it was actually the time of my life. I had such a good time. There's no way to really actually describe. Yeah, mind blown. Just there's no way to really nail that down.
2019 was pretty fucking mind blowing. That was our first one. Huge experience. This one, even bigger, like more giant sized bands, and we didn't have the Edison Lot in 2019. And we got to experience the whole Edison Lot vibe, which was just fucking crazy. It was like a damn, like, fair, except of metal.
Yep, and I got sunburned, as you can see. Maybe you can't. The nose is the color of red, and the neck is also the color of red. And,
Baltimore sun's dangerous, man. He got jumped by the sun.
I did.
Didn't get his wallet, though, because we spent a lot of money.
They didn't take my wallet, and thank God, because then I wouldn't have been able to get all the shirts I got. Which
we're definitely going to go over. That's going to be its own segment of this video, but let's talk about the whole experience. Well, first off, we got there a day early and got a chance to walk from our hotel to the Ramshead / soundstage area, which we fucked that up immediately.
Yeah, we got lost. So we turned the wrong direction down the street and then proceeded to ask for directions and then got even more lost after directions. And then we figured out, once we finally figured out how to get there, we realized how stupid we were, and it really was closer to the hotel than we thought, and pretty much a direct shot, but we're idiots.
Yeah, we walked a giant circle around our hotel. Like, literally, once we hit the block, I was like, wait a minute, is this our street? Yeah, look, there's our hotel. Wow, we're fucking stupid.
But, you know, thank God for modern medicine. Ibuprofen became our friend quickly. I ate quite a bit of it. I got new shoes, you know. We had insoles. We were ready to walk.
Yeah, the insoles didn't work out as well as I thought they would.
And they didn't. I ended up taking the insoles out and sticking with the regular shoes.
I just embraced the fact that my feet were going to hurt, but, you know, that's just part of it. But I was willing to fucking suffer for a fuck ton of metal. But, yeah, we ended up going down there, and then we hit up Soundgarden, which is a cool record store down there, and picked up a bunch of stuff. And, you know, got to see pretty much, like, you could already tell that the whole area was teeming with metalheads.
Yep. And
from all over the fucking world. We ran into a couple from Chile just outside of Soundgarden, and they were, you know, decked out in their metal gear. I was like, man, that's a fucking haul. And then we ran into one of our subscribers all the way from Australia. And I was like, you know what? That's probably the longest plane ride on Earth. He literally traveled, into the past? Because they're so far ahead of us?
Yeah, he was in... So they were a day ahead of us, and they traveled into the past.
Yeah.
Which was our
thousands of
time.
miles into the year yesterday. That doesn't make any sense, but traveling that far for an awesome metal fest kind of does in our sense. I mean, we got in a plane. I mean, it was a shorter plane ride, but I mean, this was clearly already just a huge thing. You could just see the city teeming with it. So we got a nice dinner, and next day we got up and made our way out to the Ramshead and soundstage and began the fest. First band on was War Mask.
Yes.
And this was kind of an interesting opener. More of like a stoner doom band. Like, honestly, it kind of reminded me a lot of like Clutch, maybe at a Caius.
Yeah, if Clutch was a little bit darker.
Yeah. It definitely had the big doom metal riffs. They weren't bad, but it was just kind of an interesting opener in terms of what all you were going to get on this fest, which generally was very extreme. This was a little bit more like kind of just like heavy rock boogie to it. Wasn't bad, but I was like, I mean, last year they opened up with Churchburn, and Churchburn fucked shit up right away.
Yes, they did.
This was, you know, a good opener, but really wasn't like a good pace setter necessarily.
So then we headed over to the soundstage after the Ramshead. Soundstage, of course, being directly, I won't say directly across the street, but down a little ways.
Down a little ways.
Yep. Headed over to the soundstage and saw Malformity, which, of course, if you don't know anything about Malformity, that's actually kind of okay. They formed in the 90s and then didn't release anything till, what, last year? A couple years ago? Something like that?
I think last year or maybe this year that they had a couple of demos, and I guess they broke up, and then they just recently came back.
But what was interesting is they talked as if they'd been around for a while. They said, well, this is off of this record, and this is off of this record, and we were like, eh.
I mean, again, like some demos, maybe an EP, but they were good. It was just good old school death metal, like very like Hate Eternally, like just fucking pretty damn vicious. They had 2 vocalists, and it was a nasty set. So the soundstage got kicked up pretty well with Malformity. They were pretty fucking solid old school death metal. Then we made our way back over to the Ramshead to catch Yautja. Now, we had missed Asma Castle just because we wanted to check out, the soundstage, plus checking in there. You go through the security pat-downs, and this way you can get back in earlier. But we didn't know that Adam Jarvis played in Asma Castle. I was like, fuck. Should have gone to see Asma Castle, just check him out.
Should have gone, just to see Adam Jarvis, because we heard Thralls of Metal are giant Misery Index fans and giant Pig Destroyer fans and are fans in general of Adam Jarvis.
Dude's a fucking sick drummer.
Yep. So we didn't catch that, but we did go catch Yautja. And holy shit, Yautja absolutely destroys live.
One of the best performances of that day, that whole fest, honestly. I think they absolutely crushed it. Their blend of like sludge metal, grindcore, noise, hardcore, I don't know. It's a blend of all things heavy. It's chaotic. The drum performance that dude gave was exhausting and amazing at the same time.
And again, for a 3-piece band, they sure fill up that sound. There's no blank spots anywhere. It's just this massive wall of yuck, which is what we want. Absolutely
amazing performance. I only wish that I got a shirt for him, but I did get enough shirts. We'll go into that later. But, dude, if you have a chance to go check out Yautja, go fucking see this band live. They are flat out amazing.
Yes. So then, of course, we trot back across the street to the soundstage. That very first day, there was a lot of walking back and forth, but it was okay. Went to check out Mortiferum again, and I think they sounded even better this time than when we saw them a couple months ago with Immolation. Talk about heavy.
Oh my god, oppressively heavy.
Yep.
Honestly, they are so much heavier live than they are in their albums. Like, their albums are heavy. Go see them live. Like, it is inescapably heavy, suffocatingly heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Massive walls of just like death doom breakdowns, nasty, dirty Morbid Angel tremolos. This is honestly, in terms of like newer death metal bands out there or death doom bands, this is one of the best out there. They absolutely killed the set. Another one that might have been one of my favorites of the entire festival, and man, that whole crowd was fucking feeling it. Like, it was ridiculously heavy.
Mm-hmm. And then we trotted back across the street and caught at least part of Rotarvor.
We were trying to get up like to the top row of the Ramshead to get like a better vantage point, but all that walking around, we ended up like, we heard their entire set for the most part, and they were fucking awesome. Like, this is a band I had only checked out briefly, and apparently they only have one album, which I did buy, so possible retro review material in the future, but just foul, dirty, kind of like carcassy death metal.
Yep.
And it was good. We didn't stay again in one spot for it, but from what we heard, absolutely awesome.
And we didn't want to miss what was next in line at Soundstage either, so we stuck around as long as we could, and then trotted back across the street to the Soundstage to go watch Skeletal Remains.
Dude.
I mean, if you haven't seen Skeletal Remains live, you're doing yourself a disservice. Those guys tear it up every time. They're tight. Everything's well put together. It's heavier than nuts. Of course, Pierce Williams, we've have become friends with over the last couple years, and
dude's sick.
And Chris Monroy.
Flat out, they play everything I love about death metal. Like, it reminds me of the death metal that I got into, like that very Floridian sound. Like, the riff work is brutal as fuck, but there's a lot of good, like, catchy hooks. There's a little bit of, like, Carcass Worship in there, too. But, I mean, in terms of, like, the bands that they definitely emulate, they are bands that I flat out fucking love. And, God, they just fucking crushed once again. This is, our third time seeing them? every set.
I think so, yeah.
Every set is fucking great. So yeah, this is a band to definitely go check out if you haven't already. So at this point, we were going to check out the first band that was going to be at the Power Plant, which was the merch area when we were there in 2019, but that moved on to the Edison Lot.
But we didn't know that at first.
We did that. We were kind of.
I got there and I was like, where the fuck is all the merch? I'd worked my ass off this year to be able to buy a bunch of merch.
And it's not here.
And it's not here. But then we found out later that it was going to be at Edison Lot, and we were like, all right, cool.
But this is where we ran into some more fans. Actually, we ran into our friend Lev, who runs a Facebook group, and solid dude, like very knowledgeable. We ran into him a lot. And this is kind of like one of the things that was a huge difference this year is a lot of people came up and talked to us, and it was absolutely awesome.
You know, when we went in 2019, Thralls wasn't really that big. I don't even think we had 1,000 subs yet at that point.
Maybe not.
We were just starting the channel, and you know, we didn't really know anybody. But this year we ran into quite a lot of people, and it was a really kind of mind-blowing, surreal experience.
Yeah.
Humbling. For that matter too, but yeah, we ran into our buddy Lev, and Lev, thank you for multiple reasons. Lev actually smoked me out during the festival, which was pretty cool. And
our Australian buddy James, who hooked me up with some drinks, and thank you very much for that. And just the general conversation, we got like, I don't know, it was just, again, like, we're not used to feeling like celebrities at all, but we kind of felt like them, and it was just cool having all you guys come up and fucking say hi and talk to us.
Yep.
It kind of reinforced that, we're doing something kind of cool here.
Yep.
And we appreciate everything you guys did, like every photo, every fucking conversation. If it didn't sound like the conversation was linear, that's because it was probably deaf from the fucking band. Whatever one was playing.
Huh?
You betcha.
What?
I
can't. Nothing.
Girl, he's crazy. I probably said a lot of shit, but know that I appreciate every fucking last one of you, because that was a super cool experience.
Also, day one, I've got to give a shout out to a couple dudes that have become actually pretty decent friends. I didn't know that they would be there because they weren't playing the fest. Ian and Sam from the band Cathexis. Now, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out Cathexis, 100% check them out. They are heavier than nuts, full of two of my favorite things, chug and dissonance, right? But, Ian messaged me on Instagram, said, hey, you guys at MDF? And I said, yeah, and we met up and ended up hanging out with those dudes throughout the entire festival.
Pretty much every day, man. Those dudes, fucking knowledgeable, fucking huge metal fans, and just passionate and fucking fun. And, dude, it was just great palling around with actually everyone there. Like, anyone that came up to us, Bill, dude's a heart surgeon and rabid fucking metal fan. Dude, it's just, I don't know, it's awesome seeing all these people from different walks of life, different countries.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. But anyway, we're probably going to gush about our fans even more. We got to get on with the show here, and the first band to play the Power Plant was Mortician, and Mortician is heavier than everything because it's Mortician.
Now, briefly prior to Mortician's set, according to at least the Facebook feed, around 9 o'clock or so, 9 p.m.
They played at 9:30.
They played at 9:30, so at about 9 p.m. Apparently, Will Romer was at the soundstage and may or may not have been throwing punches. Anyway, he was kicked out of the soundstage, and there is a video, at least on the MDF
he was not happy
Facebook
about
page. Yeah, there's a video of Will Romer getting thrown out of the soundstage. So
someone actually got like a fan pic with the fucking security guard that kicked him out.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was pretty hilarious.
On the last day, they found the security guard and got a picture with him. But you wouldn't ever know that had occurred unless you saw it on the interwebs, because Mortician played an absolutely killer set. And mentioned nothing of this ordeal, which actually is a pretty professional move.
Yeah. I mean, they were there for one reason, to cave in heads, and that's what Mortician does.
And they did.
I mean, hard to say if they're the heaviest set, but I mean, because there's so much fucking competition for who played the fucking heaviest shit. But Mortician's always in that discussion because they're fucking ridiculously heavy.
And oddly enough, both times I've seen Mortician now have been at Maryland Deathfest. One was in 2019, one of course was in 2022.
So, inevitably we had to sacrifice a couple of sets. We wanted to see Frizzy DeFalci or Scattered Remnants, but we also needed to eat because we hadn't eaten shit that day. So we went on over to fucking Subway because it's literally right there.
And it's the only thing open.
And it is.
After like 9 p.m., that's it. There's that Subway and that 7-Eleven, and that's it.
And they were probably pretty damn sick of the metalheads at that point, but...
And that was only day one.
Yeah, only day one. I had no idea.
But I imagine that guy's making a ton of money.
Yeah.
Being the only place open and being directly on the strip, I would imagine that guy is probably doing pretty well for himself, at least during MDF weekend, because...
Yeah.
Thousands of people.
Sweaty fucking dudes, smell like balls and armpit and feet that want Subway. It didn't smell good in there.
Didn't really smell good anywhere at MDF.
No.
A lot of rats in Baltimore.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking rats.
A lot of rats. I've never seen that many rats in my life in one place.
If they're any bigger, they had to have like a saddle, I think. Though I was sad to miss the Frizzy the Fulci set, which I heard was really fucking cool from the people that saw it. Turns out, staying at our hotel was none other than Fabio Frizzi. And I actually had a chance to, get a handshake and fucking talk to him for a little bit before they took off on their flight the next day. So it wasn't a complete loss there. I just wanted to say, like, dude, The Beyond and Gates of Hell, like, two of my favorite Italian horror movies. Yep. I'm a big Fulci fan. The dude really couldn't tell much of a story, but when it came down to the ambiance, the music, and of course the flat-out disturbing levels of gore, Fulci fucking wins. So it was really cool to actually, get a chance to meet a kind of a different celebrity. Like, it wasn't like the metalhead celebrity. It was just like, yeah, this dude is a really cool composer.
So after we ate, we trotted back across to the sound stage and caught Pyrexia. Wow. If you've never seen Pyrexia live, go see Pyrexia. That's heavy. That's, I guess, Suffocation Jr.?
Kind of. Like, they're in that same early pack of brutal death metal bands, along with Suffocation. I'd say like Mortician's kind of in there too, Baphomet. They kind of, brought up that whole new level of heavy from death metal, and yeah, they're still fucking doing it. Like, they fucking whooped absolute ass on that stage.
Yep. And then during the last 10 minutes, for the last song they played,
Sermon of Mockery.
Yep, Sermon of Mockery. They invited the crowd up onto the stage, and who knew that little stage at Soundstage could hold that many people? There were probably 75 people on stage. And they were crowd surfing a dude on stage.
Dude, if they dropped him, that would have been it. Well, this is his MDF. And now you're going to the hospital. So that was day one. We went back to the hotel, nursed our wounds with a fuck ton of ibuprofen, and went to sleep, and then got up immediately to start day two. And this is where I ran into our good buddy Chris, or Crypt, over at Metalomania. And he wanted us to specifically tell you all that he saved our balls.
He did. He literally saved our balls.
Because we didn't bring any fucking gold bond with us. So he hooked us up and brought that along. And it saved our nuts.
He brought us a couple more gifts from home. Mostly it was just good to see Chris. We are huge fans of Chris, or Crypt, as you guys may know him. Last summer we trucked out to Dunkirk and spent a few days with Chris and his other half, Scully, who is also an amazing person. But we've become genuinely good friends with Chris, and most of all, it was just good to see the man.
Absolutely. And from there, we fucking hightailed it down to the whole square. We went to the sound stage. Now, Chris actually hadn't got his ticket yet, but he knew he could actually pay his way into certain venues. They had some sort of deal. They weren't at capacity, you could buy a ticket to get in right there. But he wasn't able to get in, but we met up with him later. But we've got to watch No Mas fucking absolutely just rip apart that fucking stage. I just reviewed their new album. Holy shit, it is a glorious 22-minute affair of brutal, intense fucking grindcore, and I fucking love it.
Yep.
And they crushed live.
Yes.
Without question, they blitzed through that fucking set and just, left a trail of fucking tinnitus and fucking broken bones.
I mean, to be honest, every band at MDF crushed.
Yeah.
Everybody was on point. And that, I think, goes without saying. I think we can all agree that every band whooped ass at MDF.
It's MDF. You bring your A game.
But yep, No Mas played, and then we trotted to the Edison Lot, where we would spend a majority of the next 3 days.
Yep.
The Edison Lot, every single day, that bill was stacked.
Dude, it was fucking awesome. Now, this was my first experience at the Edison Lot. I know there's a long history with the Edison Lot in terms of the bigger bands and running two stages, working very well together in terms of as soon as one band is done, literally about 2 minutes later, the next one's going on the next stage. And the good thing about the Edison Lot is even if you didn't get a chance to see the band, you could always hear them.
We spent a lot of time buying merch, which we will get to here eventually.
Or sitting down because we're hurt.
Or sitting down because we're old. And when you're old and out of shape, such as we, it doesn't really go well for standing and standing and standing. So yeah, so if we were off buying merch or if we were sitting down somewhere nursing our sore hooves, at least we could hear it. And we could hear the music really well.
And props to the sound guys, because literally everyone sounded fucking great
Yes.
on that fucking stage.
Yes. And sometimes, I don't know how many shows you've seen outdoors, but sometimes in outdoor venues, sometimes the sound is not that great. I can even name drop Red Rocks for that. Sometimes the sound at Red Rocks isn't great. But in this case, both people running sound for both stages at Edison Lot, it sounded fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
The very first day, of course, we went to the Edison Lot. We had no idea what we were getting into, and we waited in line. It was much like waiting in line for a roller coaster at a theme park, because we waited in line probably 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was stretched around the block.
And of course, while we were waiting in line, Graveyard was playing. We got to hear their set. Sounded great. Didn't get to see them. Sorry, Graveyard. It sounded really fucking spectacular. And then Massacre was the first band we actually saw. But
well, I think we were in the merch area, but we were catching the last couple of songs because this was another one that we were in line for. There was nothing we could really do. I mean, literally everyone was in line for it. So after shopping, and catching a little bit of Massacre, we got to see the first band that we actually saw play during the whole Edison Lot trip that first day, and that was Atheist. And holy fuck, Atheist absolutely crushed. This is my first time seeing Atheist. I've been a fan for a long time. Their technical prowess is absolutely insane. The song structure, I absolutely love their albums. They actually teased a new album coming. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck's excited? It's someone that looks like me and probably him too and probably a lot of you. But an amazing fucking set from these guys. They're fucking old pros and I'd say one of the early tech death bands. So it was absolutely amazing to see these fucking old pros just fucking whoop ass.
Mm-hmm. So then after Atheist, and really only a couple minutes go by in between sets. Like Necrotic said, they do really well with the pacing of these shows, and you don't go much time at all in this whole festival without music. There's always a band playing in one of 3 places. One of 4 places, give or take. Monstrosity came on next and just whooped the dog shit out of everybody.
Oh.
This is my first time seeing Monstrosity. Wow.
Honestly, one of my favorites in the Florida whole run. I don't think they have a bad album. And they proved that by playing a fuck ton of songs from different albums. My highlight, of course, is the song Angel's Venom, which if you've heard those awesome triplet chugs all throughout it's just a fantastic song. But their set was fucking perfect in my mind. Actually, this is where we ran into Pierce again from Skeletal Remains.
Yep.
And Pierce and I were bonding over the fucking greatness of Lee Harrison on drums. What a fucking monster of a drummer he is. But, God, they had literally quite possibly a perfect set. Their guitar tone was so crunchy and thrashy. And just riffs, breakdowns, amazing set. I need to see Monstrosity again. That was absolutely fucking magical.
And what's interesting is prior to MDF, it'd only been a week prior that Nick actually showed me Monstrosity.
I heard it.
Somehow I missed that in the laundry list of things that I do know about. I missed Monstrosity. I don't know how. But then it was a real treat to see that live after figuring out how much Monstrosity whooped ass. So that was a pretty cool thing for me.
So then we literally walked about 30 or 40 feet over to go to the next stage, and that was Suffocation. And we love Suffocation here.
We love them. I love Suffocation. This is my 5th or 6th time seeing Suffocation.
Something like that for me.
I mean, it's Suffocation.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do no wrong in my eyes. Terrence Hobbs writes some of the best, heaviest riffs on the face of the planet.
Fucking
just skull-crushing heaviness, which is what I love about Suffocation.
And they played, of course, a lot of classic stuff. Of course, Thrones of Blood, because you have to play Thrones of Blood, but they didn't open with it.
No.
Which, if you've been seeing Suffocation for a while here, they seem to be opening with Thrones of Blood a lot. Not that that's a complaint, because it's one of my favorite fucking songs, but that was more in the middle of the set. I want to say they opened with Liege of Inveracity, so right away you get the fucking slammiest breakdown that ever slammed.
Yeah.
In slam history, whatever you want to call it. So it was kind of cool to see him vary up the set list a bit. I did kind of miss the fact that As Grace Descends wasn't in this set list. But it really isn't much of a complaint because I loved everything I heard, because it's suffocation and they fucking whoop ass. So this day was loaded with all sorts of weather events. Actually, before we even got there, it fucking poured on us, and we even had a tornado warning, which so far, every time I've been in Maryland here lately, there's been tornado warnings.
All 3 times. There was a tornado warning in 2019 when we went to MDF, and then when we went and saw Chris at the end of last year, there was a tornado warning. And then, of course, in typical fashion, there was a tornado warning the morning that all this started. But the weather... And albeit the weather wasn't, first of all, it wasn't hot at all, really the whole weekend, which is great because when we went in 2019, it was just ball-scorching, sweaty, fucking blech.
Yeah.
But right around the time, after we got done seeing Suffocation and Demolition Hammer came on, it just started sprinkling.
And because of the weather coming in, they decided to move 2 of the headliners over the power plant. That would be Obituary and Carcass. So Demolition Hammer would end up being the last band that played that day at the Edison Lot. Now, we caught a little bit of their set. They sounded fucking great. I mean, if you've never jammed Demolition Hammer, they're one of the best fucking death thrash bands out there ever. They haven't put out a new album in forever. I don't know if they plan on doing it because they could play those first 2 albums, it seems like, indefinitely in their live sets, and everyone's going to be like, fuck yes! And myself included. But we wanted to get kind of ahead of the weather and get to the whole power plant area so we could catch Obituary because it's Obituary. I mean, that's really the only explanation because Obituary rules. We got there a little bit early so we were able to get back to the hotel and, you know, like put on like a dryer shirt or something like that.
Drop off the book bag, which was full of merch.
Yeah.
That seems to be the story for me and carrying the book bag at the Edison Lot because Nick, for whatever reason, decided he didn't want to bring a book bag, even though he brought a fucking book bag. His argument was...
You volunteered.
I did not. His argument was, well, I'm probably not going to buy that much merch, so it won't be that big a deal and it won't be that heavy. Guess whose fucking backpack was full of merch for 3 days
shoulders,
in a row?
though. They're so firm.
They're shoulder-like. But I tell you what, fuck you. Anyway.
All you would have done is like ask, hey man, can you hear this for a bit? I probably would have said no and ran away, but...
Went back to drop off the book bag. We decided to go back up to the power plant to catch Obituary. Unfortunately, by that time, it was getting pretty close to pouring rain, and we did not make it under the awning. Now, the power plant, while it is a pretty decent size... There were a lot of fucking people at MDF.
Good.
A lot of fucking people. And why wouldn't there be? The bill was stacked.
Yeah. And you moved 2 of the big headliners into a smaller area. So, yeah, they were kind of stuck playing that, and people were not able to fucking get in there. So we only caught like about half of Obituary set. It was awesome because it's Obituary. But after a while, like, dude, everything's wet.
Everything's wet. We didn't really have any place to... And where we were standing, where we did find shelter, you couldn't see the band anyway.
Yeah. Still hear them.
You can still hear them, but so we skipped out on the second half of Obituary and unfortunately skipped out on Carcass in its entirety, which sucks because I've never seen Carcass, and I was super excited to see Carcass.
And everyone talked about how amazing Carcass was.
And everyone talked about how amazing. Right. Did you see Carcass? They were fucking amazing.
No.
So we ended up meeting up with, again, Sam and Ian from Cathexis, and they talked us into going to a bar.
But we needed food, too. This bar served food. And a lot of drinks.
And a lot of drinks. Yep. And James, I'm sorry, I know you're watching this. James, one of our fans, was trying to buy me a beer throughout all of MDF, and I said I wasn't drinking, which is true. I don't want to drink while I watch the bands.
When you're not watching the bands.
Now, when I'm not watching the bands, that's another thing. But while I'm watching bands, I don't like to drink because I don't want to forget what I saw. I spent a lot of money to go to MDF. I don't want to drink during shows. Yeah, we met up with Ian and Sam from Cathexis, and I ended up going to some little dive bar.
And yeah, we just got smashed. We just got smashed. We talked about death metal. We probably scared some of the fucking straights there, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was just good, just to fucking hang out. You know, honestly, when I was drunk, I didn't feel how much my feet hurt.
Yeah, I didn't either. Who knew that really the answer to hurt feet and legs was alcohol?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Afterwards, crashed real fucking hard and woke up the next day, and somehow I didn't have a hangover. I had gas. It was bad.
He did it, man. He was farty.
Oh, dude, I farted myself awake. Speaking of gas.
Speaking of gas. Yeah, Nick didn't have a hangover. I was a little bit worse for the wear.
Ian and Sam definitely felt it.
Ian and Sam definitely felt it. Ian kind of looked like death. Love you, buddy. But Ian didn't look so hot. Actually ran into Pierce that following day, too. Pierce didn't look so hot either. Yeah. It's a party. I'm on vacation. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. So anyway, that day, Edison Lot opens up at noon, and we get out there fucking immediately. And we didn't have to wait in line because, we got there super early. We were able to do even more shopping.
We got there. We didn't have to wait in line because everybody else was hungover and drunk still. Yeah. That's why let's be honest here. That's why we didn't have to wait in line.
Well, you were hungover. I wasn't.
I was hungover. Yeah, we got to...
I should have been hungover.
You should have been. Nick drank a lot.
I did.
Yep. We get to Edison Lot super early. It leaves us some time to shop for merch. Again, we'll get to that. I may or may not have spent way too much on merch. That's neither here nor there.
Oh, it's here. Don't worry. You're going to show it.
It's here, yep. Now, Saturday, of course, was yet another really stacked fucking lineup. Actually, in my opinion, probably one of the best lineups. One of the best days of MDF, period. Saturday, we spent actually all day at the Edison Lot.
So the first band up was Cardiac Arrest. Now, we were still shopping for merch at this point. I was like, no, we got to get in there and get some shit. And there was some stuff I slept on. And, well, yeah, I kind of fucked up and didn't get it. But I got a lot of cool stuff. We'll get into that. But Cardiac Arrest was on. And, Cardiac Arrest is just a nasty, kind of grindy death metal band. But they like to squeeze in big, kind of like death doomy breakdowns here.
Oh, and the bendies. I love bendy fucking... low chug blah.
Yeah.
There's no way to describe it. There was just one riff in particular. I remember it was had a bendy in it, and I just looked at Nick and went,
"That's gross."
Ugh.
But they put on a killer show. Again, we didn't see them, but we could hear them clearly, especially because we were at the end of the fucking shopping mall, and that's where the stage was. So we heard them clear as day and fucking ripped it up. Then Drawn and Quartered went on the next stage, which, if you like incantation with even more dissonance, because Jesus, the guitars sounded like a wall of shrieking demons coming after you with pummeling blast beats. Drawn and Quartered sounded fucking flat out evil. Yep. And I liked it because, I'm into that shit. I brought up Drawn and Quartered before. We reviewed one of their albums. They're just a fucking nasty band. It's definitely kind of in that incantation worship. But I love incantation, so that's not like a fucking complaint at all. They sounded fucking great. And again, dissonance. This gentleman, very happy.
Dissonance. Wall of it. Yep. Chug. Chug dissonance. Dissonant chug. Yep, that's me. No, I love Drawn and Quartered anyway, and it's the first time I'd seen them live. Never seen them before.
Same here.
Man, it was good. And then directly after that, we walked again about 40 feet over to the other side of the Edison Lot and saw Enforced.
I'm just going to say the thrash bands that were on the bill for this year fucking killed it.
Yep.
And Enforced came out fucking swinging, as well they should. They're the fucking young kids in the block in terms of like this new wave of crossover thrash bands, and holy shit, do they fucking kill. This is my third time seeing it live, and they only seem to get more tight and more furious somehow. They were like a bunch of feral fucking animals on stage, just beating the shit out of everything, and it was amazing.
Yep. Yeah, if you've never seen Enforced, go see Enforced.
Yeah, dude, their set was fucking immaculate. I really wish you guys played UXL. But anyway, you guys played an amazing set. So, you're not going to be able to play every song I want to hear because I want to hear all of them because I don't think you've written a bad song
we don't
yet.
write sets. So, But, next time we see you guys, if you play UXO, that'll be great.
So then we made a long, arduous journey, about 40 feet. It was terrifying. There were orcs and goblins. I pushed over John so I could get away from them quicker. Anyway, the next band up was Cerebral Rot. And, well, it's obvious we love Cerebral Rot because their last album was on both of our year-end lists. And holy shit, dude, their guitar tone was one of the murkiest, foulest things I fucking heard that day. So much bottom end and the low, gurgly vocals. All the melodies are melodies again, quote unquote, because it's all very atonal and squawky, but that's their whole thing.
And Cerebral Rot, I think, is another one of those bands that is even better live, even heavier live, even more gross and disgusting sounding live.
Props to the frontman for keeping his death metal voice all throughout the set, even when announcing the songs. Like,
Yes.
just talking to the audience like some demonic bullfrog. It kind of worked with a cool aesthetic there. It was just kind of made it more fun and kind of like more self-aware. It's like, yeah, this is death metal that's so over the top and gross that we're kind of embracing it. And I don't know, it kind of reminded us of a band that we would see later that day, just in terms of like an over-the-top strange sound. So next up was Imprecation, but we decided we were going to get some food and we were sitting down in the food area, but we could still hear them, and Imprecation sounded fucking awesome.
Yep.
Very evil sounding again, kind of incantationist, but also like deicide-ish too. And killer set, I got some pictures of them. They sounded really fucking good, but it was also really, really nice to be off my feet and sitting down in a fucking parking lot eating chicken tenders and fries. Certain situations where that actually does sound good, like namely festivals.
Well, let me tell you too, as far as festival food is concerned, all the food that I had at that festival was really good.
It was good.
The chicken tenders were actually pretty decent for festival chicken tenders. Now, one of my favorites that I found was that skewer full of potatoes.
Dude, the spiral potato.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the jalapeno sour cream? Yeah, I got the same thing.
Yeah, that
fucking
was good.
delicious.
And the fruit whip, the frozen fruit whip, the pineapple one.
I didn't get that.
That was great.
And we also spent a good chunk of this festival with another fellow YouTuber, Maze of Torment, our buddy Devin, and yeah, he was pretty much checking out all the food too. I think he also got the spiral.
Yeah, he got the spiral thing,
barbecue one though.
He got the barbecue one.
I could smell it. It smelled fucking great.
Yep.
But yeah, Imprecation, solid set from what we heard. We decided to do some more merch shopping, but we also got a chance to at least hear November's Doom, which they sounded really good. This band sounds a fuck ton like the bands they emulate, like, you know, My Dying Bride and Paradise Lost. Like, I want to say there might have been Paradise Lost on the PA before they went on. I was like,
I thought so. Well, it was either Paradise Lost or it was Pallbearer. I couldn't make it out.
It might have been Pallbearer.
I think it was Pallbearer.
But great, just death doom, like solid death doom, but like a lot more clean vocals. Like, honestly, when it came down to clean vocals, there really weren't many to be found at this entire festival.
Nope.
But yeah, they did a good fucking job. Like, I love Paradise Lost, I love My Dying Bride, and they definitely have that similar sound, except they're from Chicago, not, you know, the UK. That's about the only real difference, though. And also, while we were shopping, because we spent a lot of time in that fucking area for shopping for shit.
You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. We also got to hear Onslaught, which Onslaught fucking ripped. Honestly, one of my only regrets is I should have popped my fucking ass out and got a picture of that band playing live, because literally their set sounded so fucking good. Again, super tight, aggressive thrash metal. The vocals were really fucking snarly. They played a fucking blistering set. They played a lot of the newer stuff, like the last couple of albums. But Born for War, easily one of my favorite like comeback albums, because I believe they kind of disappeared for a while. They were actually playing some songs after that. They sounded so fucking good. But didn't get a chance to actually see them, but I heard them. That was pretty fucking cool. But by the time we were done shopping, we actually managed to catch a little bit of Cancer set, which I was kind of surprised that they only had one guitarist, because, I mean, it seems like for the longest time Cancer had two guitarists. And, you know, it made it a little bit difficult for them playing songs off of Death Shall Rise, because you had two guitarists in there. One of them was James Murphy. That's always fucking cool. But they had a pretty solid set. I gotta give them that they had a solid set. It was just the fact that there was only one guitar when it came down to doing like the leads and such. You didn't have that backing riff behind it, and it kind of felt a little empty. And I love those first three Cancer albums. I think they're fucking underrated as fuck. But I don't know, it was kind of missing something, but again, not bad. They had a fucking great set. They got the pit spinning. It was a lot of fucking fun.
And then we made another 40-foot trek back across the parking lot to catch something that I had been wanting to see, that I think everybody there had been wanting to see. My first time seeing these guys live, I'm pretty sure probably actually a lot of people's first time seeing them live. Coroner. Yes. if I wasn't a giant Coroner fan prior to this show, I am now. Those guys absolutely destroyed, especially for the fact that they're advancing in age. Just the epitome of awesome. Wow is about all I can say. I was blown away.
I've been a fan for a number of years. I picked up, I think it was Mental Vortex years ago, and I was like, dude, this is just really good. And then I started getting their earlier albums, like Punishment for Decadence, and I was like, dude, this is honestly like really some of the most technical thrash I think I've heard from this era. And honestly, I'd still say they were one of the tightest three pieces out there, even though they had like a keyboardist to just do backup vocals and some of the samples that are in there. Traditionally, this band is a three-piece, and honestly, one of the best in metal in general. Flat out amazing set. They played a lot off of Mental Vortex, and of course Punishment for Decadence and No More Color. Amazing set. I've been waiting to see this band for a while. In fact, when they were announced, I may have squeed with delight when I initially saw that, and literally they could not have played a more perfect set.
I agree.
The guitar work was so fucking good. Oh my god. Like literally that whole set, flat out fucking amazing. Corner rules. Go see them.
I think though that was the first time I had complaints with sound, because the drums weren't as prevalent as they should have been.
Well, those guitars were so crunchy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I had no complaints just because it was awesome hearing songs I didn't think I'd ever hear live, because again, this band doesn't come to the States very often. No. And they put on such a killer set.
They said it was their first time there in a decade, I think. So yeah. So then we learned that Triptychon was a little late getting to the Edison Lot, and so they switched time spots with Autopsy. Now, Autopsy themselves are a great band, heavy as all get out.
Chris
Ryford is a goddamn maniac. I think my favorite part of the set was when he was playing and then yelled, "Oh shit!" and then kept on playing, and then we figured out, of course, that his snare drum mic had completely fallen off.
It's just kind of dangling here in front of me.
Yep.
Finally broke.
Yep, finally broke, and then he congratulated the sound guy. Congratulated the drum tech. What did he say to him? Like, "You, sir, have passed the test. Go on, good fellow." And that was pretty neat. But during Autopsy,
some extracurriculars going on in the mosh pit.
In the mosh pit now. Normally, the mosh pit is full of just sweaty dudes running around punching each other, and that's great.
This time,
there was a little bit of an extra show.
Romance was in the air and on some dude's face.
Yep. Who knew that Autopsy could bring about those feelings?
I was only at half mast, but
apparently there was a young lady that
she got head.
In
front of everybody. She literally popped the squat in this dude's face, right in the middle of the pit.
Yep.
And I think she might have peed on him too.
I think she peed in his mouth, at least according to the Twitter video.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. This is like at 7 o'clock. And this festival has been running in this lot for a while now.
Yeah, like a good 7 hours. And while it wasn't too hot outside, the sunshine was beating down on everyone. Noticed the sunburn.
But yeah, no, it was hot, and I can't imagine that was the most enjoyable head that dude ever gave. I don't know. Like I just, unless she found like a hose to kind of, like I said, all right. I know my genitals were sweaty and smelly. I can't imagine I was the only one.
Yes.
So
we'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Very simple. We've cracked a lot of jokes. We're not going to do that on camera because.
Yeah, anyway. No, you can see the video on Twitter. I'm reasonably sure it's still fucking there.
It's still there. If it's not, there's memes. The memes are great. Oh my god. The memes are great. I pulled a lot of memes off the MDF Facebook page. But yeah, that happened.
Autopsy set was awesome though.
Autopsy.
Where we were situated, we moved over because we wanted to get close for the next band on the next stage, but we got to hear the entire set. And Chris Ryford, of course, making jokes. I don't think he saw what was going on in the pit because I'm pretty sure he would have made a joke about it. But their set was absolutely fucking amazing.
Yep.
Again, another one that's possibly one of my favorites of the entire set. And they were a last-minute replacement because Bloodbath and Dismember weren't able to make it, or they just kind of dropped off. It's complicated and kind of annoying.
Read about it.
Yeah.
You can read about it.
But Autopsy was a worthy fucking replacement, and I would go see Autopsy any day of the fucking week after that set.
After Autopsy, we trotted back across the parking lot and saw probably something that I'm relatively certain that we'll probably never ever get a chance to see ever again.
We might.
We might. Trotted back and saw Cavalera. Max and Igor, of course, performing Beneath the Remains in its entirety in almost all of our eyes. They didn't quite have the time for it, but what a nostalgic moment. We were to the side of the stage and just everybody was shits and giggles and having a great time. The pit was insane. Everybody sung every word to everything, and it was magical.
I grew up with these albums. They're teenage memories. I knew every fucking word, every moment. And there were songs I didn't think I'd ever get a chance to see live, like Slaves of Pain. That's like a top 5 Sepultura song for me.
And you were... Man, dude, this is the first time I've seen Igor play ever, because I never saw the original lineup of Sepultura. Igor fucking crushed it. Max was on point. And of course, we didn't get an opportunity yet again to meet Max, but I'm sure that will come. And if you've been on Facebook at all in the last couple days, you've seen Max Cavalera wearing a Thralls of Metal shirt.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Max.
I can't believe it, dude. I'm really...
I don't know what the fuck
I don't know.
say.
I just, every time I look at that picture, because people have been tagging us left and right in that photo on every platform of social media, period.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so fucking much, dude.
Every time I see it, it blows my mind. I cannot believe that Max is in a Thrall shirt and taking pictures with everybody of
Tom Warrior, fucking... Glenn Benton.
Like, dude, really? Like, and
it's amazing.
Click on the original post, thousands and thousands of people have seen that photo, and fucking thank you, dude.
Yeah, dude. It means the world to us.
It really does.
And like I said, you fucking captured all of my youthful metalldom in that fucking set. I mean, it didn't get a chance to make it through all of our eyes, which I would have loved to have heard the rest of it, but still, everything that they played was fucking awesome. They had Daniel Gonzalez from fucking Gruesome and Possessed playing lead guitar. Dude fucking crushes. Oh my god. I mean, I might be telegraphing. Yeah, it was my fucking favorite moment, probably. Because, I mean, that was like one of those moments that reminded me why I got into this shit.
Exactly. That whole set just reminded me of how and why I became a metalhead.
So after Cavalera wrapped up, Triptychon took the stage on the next stage, and Jesus Christ. We only caught a little bit of their set because, again, our feet were fucking hurting. We wanted to get back to the hotel, take some more Advil because Advil helps.
Next time, I am bringing Advil with me, and we will take it while we're there. And
just dose up.
That'll be that. Because, man, I thought my feet were going to fall off, to be honest. I didn't know what I had left in me.
Yeah.
It hurt.
But Triptychon, for the 2 songs we caught them for, and I think coincidentally both of them were Celtic Frost songs. I don't think we heard a Triptychon song. Right. But I mean, I get it. You got fucking Tom Warrior, you got Hans Grossman on drums too, which I thought was really cool. And I think he actually played on the other set, which we'll get to. But Triptychon sounded flat out massive. If you've ever jammed a Triptychon album, you know how fucking ridiculously heavy Tom G. Warrior's fucking guitar tone is. And the 2 songs we heard, before leaving were classics. Procreation of the Wicked, who the fuck doesn't know that riff, and Circle of Tyrants, which we heard the night before because of Obituary.
Right, exactly.
But we got to hear from the guy himself, and they sounded fucking fantastic. But again, we kind of had to get the fuck out of there because we needed to dose up on Advil because we're fucking old. But we did make it back down to the power plant because we wanted to check out Deeds of Flesh, because this has been their first live performance since I believe the death of Eric Lindmark, which was quite some time ago. And they did put a comeback album out, I believe, last year, and it was really solid. Like, kind of carrying on more with their later work, the more tech death stuff, but they packed a lot of brutality into their set. And they played a lot of early stuff too, which is where I got into Deeds of Flesh. And we even got a chance to run into Mike Hamilton, their fucking drummer, also the drummer of Exhumed, and he's got some killer coffee, too. I don't know if you guys have tried it.
Yeah, he does have some really killer coffee.
Dude, it's fucking awesome.
And a crushing handshake.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Dude's strong. Dude's strong. But, I mean, fucking Blast Beat Champion, like, dude, that set was fucking intense. And that was the first time I had ever seen Deeds of Flesh. But we didn't run into him until the last day, but the Deeds of Flesh set, fucking incredible. I don't know how many original members are actually in there. Like, I didn't actually see what the touring lineup was because that last album was loaded with guest stars on it. But didn't matter because that fucking set absolutely fucking crushed. Again, another band to definitely check out live if they do tour, because a lot of these guys are also members of other bands. But if they do, definitely see them live because they were flat out fucking amazing and brutal.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So that brings us to the final day of MDF, Sunday, May 29th. I tried to sleep in, but this fucker had me paged from the front desk.
Yeah, we ain't missing shit.
So we didn't miss anything. So back to the Edison Lot we went. Again, we spent a majority of our time there, which was really cool because we caught a lot of awesome bands. We had to unfortunately skip a few though.
Well, we went shopping again. Let's be honest.
We went shopping.
We actually even talked to ourselves before they. Like, we're not all right.
Yeah.
We shopped enough.
Yep.
You know,
I told Nick. I said I've spent a lot of money. I'm not shopping anymore.
I'm not buying anymore. So
done.
I even said like, I think I got what I want.
Yep.
And then we bought more shit.
Yep. But then nope. Of course. Why would I have an empty book bag that was fun to carry? No, we shoved a bunch more crap in it.
Bunch of dirty fucking liars right here.
Back to the Edison Lot, bought a bunch of crap, and then of course we heard Necrofire in the background.
And Sacrilegia
and
too.
Sacrilegia, both really good bands.
Both
Again,
sounded really fucking good.
I love the fact that you can definitely hear the music even if you're not watching. So
that is one of the big perks of the Edison Lot. That day, though, one of the big drawbacks is the sun was out and it was almost cloudless.
Yes, it was very clear, and the sun was beating down upon us. And while I sunscreened my arms and the back of my neck, I somehow missed sunscreening the sides of my neck and my face, which took the brunt of the sun. Even though I was wearing a hat, it didn't seem to matter.
No. The sun was out to get you.
By the time we got done shopping and walking around, of course, meeting more people,
Always awesome.
We tried to keep a tally. We actually, between the two of us, said, well, let's keep a tally and figure out how many people we met.
We couldn't.
By the end of day one, there was too much. And that is a wonderful thing.
That is because we can't count that high because, we can't.
Thank you to everybody that came up to us and shook our hands and talked for a minute, took pictures, Thank you.
Yeah.
That was nuts. I still don't quite understand it, but thank you.
But no, we appreciate the living shit out of it. It just, again, it's kind of surreal. Like, there's no point in my life where I would have considered myself a celebrity, even right now.
Right.
It's just, I don't know, it's just cool hearing good feedback. And we heard a lot of good feedback, and we got to run into some bands. Actually ran into the band Gorham Braced out of Indiana. They're playing a show here in Toledo, and they thanked me for like bringing up their album in a collection update a while ago, and look forward to seeing them too. Like, it was crazy, but we finally got around to getting out there. I was like, all right, I have to see Nun Slaughter because Nun Slaughter is ridiculous fucking fun. They're thrashy death metal. If you want some real entertainment, go to their metal archives and see how many releases they have.
Yes.
Holy shit.
A lot.
I think they only have like 4 or 5 full lengths, and then split, 7-inch single live album compilation. It's ridiculous. This is one of the hardest working bands out there, but holy shit, their live set.
Yep. Yep. And they are everything you would think that they would be. Like if you were to stereotype a band, I think Nun Slaughter would become pretty close to spot on to what you'd think.
Yep.
Like it was almost like goofy evil.
I love it. I love every second of it. I think we joked to say, is it Nun's Laughter? Maybe it's Nun's Laughter. I don't know. They seem like a nice bunch of lads. But we had face paint, upside down crosses, songs about fucking nuns.
Who wants to go fuck a nun?
Dude, they were having so much fucking fun up there. They were flying a big fucking demon flag going on there. Mm-hmm. And they're Ohio boys. And I absolutely love the fact that we can claim them as an awesome Ohio band because they fucking tore it up. It was absolutely awesome. Now, before that was a band called Divine Eve. And again, we were shopping during this time. Kind of missed out on them, and I really wish we kind of saw them because when we were listening to them, I was like, dude, these guys sound really good.
Yeah.
But then it was like, ooh, look at that shirt, I have to get it. So, we missed that one, unfortunately, but they sounded really fucking good. But after Nunslaughter, we had Nocturnus AD.
Well, Nocturnus AD for legal reasons.
For legal reasons, I think they even kind of had a laugh about that. We're Nocturnus AD, because, anyway. But that was an interesting set. First off, I think that was the first one that I really had an issue with the sound, because the sound guys just seemed like they could not center in on their sound. Like, all of a sudden the bass drums would get super loud, and then you completely lose the snare. Then the snare would come out, but then like the bass would drop out. And if you're familiar with Nocturnus, especially albums like The Key, they are ferociously technical, like almost kind of avant-garde-ish. The songs kind of meander around. There's spacey atmosphere, keyboards, sci-fi themes, and it can be a lot to absorb. And if you don't get the mix or the live fucking sound right, it can get really jumbled and muddy, and that was kind of the effect. And unfortunately, well, Mike Browning put on a killer drum performance because he's an awesome drummer, and he's also the frontman in terms of like doing all the vocals. The vocals kind of felt a little dialed in, like it really wasn't projecting very well. It was more like he was kind of like narrating a story very gruffly. And yeah, like I didn't think they were bad necessarily, but there was definitely something missing in the overall sound. But it was still awesome to be able to see that band. I thoroughly enjoy The Key. I think that is an underrated, strange album, and I like the fact that it kind of brought in sci-fi themes in death metal, and even keyboards in death metal. Like to that point, like death metal really didn't have like full-time like keyboards on every track. There were some bands, but I think that's the first one that really did it like well in terms of old school death metal. But yeah, solid set, and kind of thematically similar. On the next stage was Blood Incantation, speaking of sci-fi and fucking death metal, and well, Blood Incantation fucking rules.
I love Blood Incantation. I love them. They can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah, even Time Wave Zero, guys. We like that one too. We even joked, it's like, dude, what if they just came on and played Time Wave Zero? These people would lose their shit.
Yep. Everybody would revolt. But they didn't. They played, they played mostly
human history stuff.
Yep.
Which, I mean, well, when you say that, all right, that's mainly because they close with the last track, which is an entire fucking sentence, and I never remember it.
It's more like a paragraph.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
Oh my god. But it's an 18-minute track of just nothing but absolutely amazing music, so naturally half their set is that song. But they played an absolutely killer set. Once again, like another band that is ferociously technical, but fucking so precise.
And with an insane drummer.
Absolutely.
This might have been, they might as well have called this Insane Drum Fest, because, man, Blood Incantation's drummer is ridiculously sick.
I mean, their music is ridiculously sick.
Yep.
The layers of strange guitars, and then the sci-fi elements. Everything is very technical, but it's also very riffy. Like, I just find it surprisingly easy to get into for as just insane it is.
Yep.
But yeah, they crushed. I mean, we saw them not too long ago with Primitive Man, and I would say one of the best live performances by any technical death metal band I've ever seen. But yeah, again, they crushed. We expected that.
And then we trotted back across the Edison Lot to see the almighty Demolich. I actually had never seen Demolich before.
Same here.
Holy shit. Wow.
Top 5 performances
of MDF.
Oh my god. Like, first off, if you have not jammed their album Nespith, go jam it. It is such a strange death metal oddity. They have not recorded any other album, though they are still around. And I don't know, like, I kind of wish they would do another album, but at the same time, Nespith or Nespith is such a remarkable album with the weird angular riffs, odd groovy pockets and blast beats, but the vocals, I think, are one of the best things on it, because literally the dude sounds like a bullfrog.
Yes, and let me tell you, he is hilarious.
Yes.
First of all, I love dry humor. My humor, anyway, is pretty much centric around like Bill Murray and Stephen Wright and Mitch Hedberg and whatnot. But he emulates a lot of that. Like he just kept hitting them just over and over and over again. Every time he spoke, great sense of humor in that guy. But boy, man, that set fucking destroyed.
Dude, their guitars sounded remarkable. And I mean, like, dude, it was just such a tight set. And again, this is another band I would say is very technical, but there's like kind of a good groovy bounce to a lot of their songs, but the riffs are strangely combined to actually, I don't know like how they found melodies in there, because it just sounds like it's all over the place, but it comes together so well. Like I had been listening to Demolish for a while, and they were on the list for bands I had to see on here, and I'm so glad I did. And they're also doing a full-on tour. In fact, this was the first date on their U.S. tour. So,
and we will see them again in
Detroit.
June.
Yep. So here very, very, very soon, I have to see this band again. Are you kidding? This is ridiculous. Plus, I didn't get one in their shirts because the line was too fucking long.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get one either, but I will definitely get one in Detroit because it's fucking Demolish, man. What a fucking awesome set.
Dude, legit, someone posted in the MDF forum, was like, biggest disappointment of MDF, the front man of Demolish wasn't actually a bullfrog. I wasn't disappointed with that because the dude was hilarious and they were fucking awesome. So if you ever get a chance to see Demolish, if they are touring in your town, go fucking see them. Oh my God, they're good.
Yes.
So after that, we had to get something to eat and we decided to sit down and eat. But while we were sitting down and eating for a good chunk of that set was Destruction, and Destruction fucking killed. Like I said, all the thrash bands they found killer fucking thrash bands.
Yep.
Now, Schmear pretty much has a brand new lineup now, and these young guns are definitely like invigorating the whole Destruction brand, because I don't know if you guys have jammed that new Destruction album, Diabolical. Fucking jam it. It might be one of their best in years, and they played a good chunk of stuff off
you know, if you're going to find a new band, he found a bunch of new young dudes that are hungry, and you can tell. Just by the way they performed, you could tell that these guys were out to kill it. So after sitting our fat, tired asses down for a little bit, we decided to get back up and see Immolation take the stage. Now, of course, now this will be my fourth time seeing Immolation. They always put on a killer set, and this time they weren't slouches in this department either.
Ever.
Just ever. Immolation always puts on a killer set.
Just like they always put out a good fucking album. Like, when we eventually rank that one, it's going to be a lot of me going, fuck!
Yep.
Man, this was tough. Because literally they could play any song off of any album, and I'd fucking love it. Yep. Of course, they played a lot of stuff off the new one, which, again, I love the new album, so not really an issue there. But I don't really have anything negative to say about that, because it's Immolation. They put on another killer show. I would have liked to hear, a couple more classics. They did close with the song Immolation off of their debut, which, fucking great. But, yeah, Immolation just fucking crushed once again. I'm always spellbound by their playing, especially fucking Robert Vigna. Oh my God, dude. The way he plays, the way he moves around and up picks and just, like, I don't know. He's just remarkable to watch. Plus, I mean, his leads are extraordinarily like atonal but melodic. And their drummer puts on a fucking clinic every fucking time.
Actually, he was standing right behind us for Cavalera too.
Yeah.
I turned around and I was like, "Oh shit, hey!" And then I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I awkwardly just turned back around and watched the set. But
by this point, the sun had kind of fucked him up a little bit.
It was very bright.
So after that, our feet hurt, much like they kind of did throughout the entire fucking thing. So we decided to sit down for a little bit, but...
I mean, keep in mind, this is day 4 of this, and we've been standing for 8 to 10 hours a day. I'm not in shape.
Not in shape.
We're not in shape.
We've been on a diet of fucking Advil, Subway, cigarettes,
Advil, Subway, cigarettes,
bottled water.
Weed, and bottled water. Yeah, not the greatest.
No. The bottled water's probably good for you, but literally everything else, no. But we decided to get back up because literally everything we heard from Triumph of Death was fucking incredible. Now, this was Tom G. Warrior, we'll call him Road Warrior too, because he came here to play 2 sets. And this was the Hellhammer set, and this is where we get to hear like crusty, fucking filthy D-beat stuff. And dude, this was just a heavy, droning, fucking awesome set. And we caught pretty much the entire thing this time, so we didn't have to dip out to, the other venues this time. Dude, everyone fucking just poured out their fucking love for him. And they should, because it's Tom G. Warrior, and Celtic Frost rules, Hellhammer rules, Triptychon rules. Cold Lake may suck, but, it's still fucking Tom G. Warrior. And it's just killer seeing him up there fucking just whooping ass. Like, he's almost 60 years old, and he still has all the energy. Like, his vocals are fucking raw and nasty, too. You could hear them, like, just projecting throughout the fucking city, just bellowing evil. Yes.
And then due to whatever scheduling thing that was going on the same stage, to close out the A stage, Hypocrisy played. This is Necrotic's first time seeing Hypocrisy. This is my second time seeing them. Hypocrisy fucking rules. That's all there is.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
that
I love almost every fucking album by Hypocrisy, and they covered so many. I mean, they played Eraser. They fucking played some of the new songs, like Chemical Whore, which I think is a great fucking song. They played Weed Out the Week, which is one of my fucking favorites off of A Taste of Extreme Divinity. They played some stuff off Final Chapter. I mean, dude, like, they could have played anything, and I love this band. And honestly, in terms of sound, I think they had one of the best sounds of any band.
They even blew out the left side of the PA.
Dude, it just fucking quit. It couldn't handle Hypocrisy. They were that fucking heavy. And Peter reminded us all that it's like, yeah, you guys are a bunch of crazy fuckers. You were in the paper today for the whole autopsy thing. I'm not here to judge. You guys do your thing, but you were in the paper.
Go ahead and fuck each other. I think that's what he said. He was like, if you guys want to fuck, go ahead and fuck.
Yeah, just do it.
Yep. But no, that was a killer set. Definitely good to see him again. It was my first time seeing him since 2006. So
Peter Tägtgren is like one of my favorite people in metal, like as a producer, as a writer, as a vocalist too. Like his high to fucking low flip is still fucking fantastic. And the fact that they can still be so damn brutal and melodic, like that's the kind of melodic death metal I like.
Yep, agreed.
Like it stays heavy as fuck. You're not gonna hear a whole bunch of clean, super poppy choruses. Like it's brutal, but there are melodic hooks all over the place. So yeah, Hypocrisy fucking rules. I was absolutely blown away. Finally got them off the bucket list, and then we were on to the last band that would play
Deicide,
and
playing Legion in its entirety, and Deicide.
Deicide.
I mean, come on,
dude. Like, all right, Legion is definitely one of my favorite albums in terms of like all of Floridian death metal, and I would say like Deicide's first 4 albums, I would say are essential listening in terms of old school death metal. Legion is just an incredible album. And unfortunately, we didn't stay for the entire set. We watched 4 songs, but this is where we ran into Mike Hamilton too, which that was awesome to fucking connect.
Yep.
And we decided, like, listen, I think we plan on going to see Deicide do their actual tour with Cataclysm.
Yep.
And they're going to do all of Legion there, and we can actually watch it all there. So let's check out a good chunk of it, which, dude, first off, fucking Steve Hashim is still such a beast of a fucking drummer.
Yep.
My God, and Glenn just sounds fucking feral.
We decided that we were gonna catch a couple songs and then go back to the hotel. Yeah, so we went back to the hotel for a little bit and chilled out because, I mean, by this time, you know, like I said, it's day 4. We've been on our feet for pretty much 4 days straight.
We're exhausted.
Exhausted, tired, but I knew, you know, 100% that we definitely wanted to catch Birdflesh. You know, of course, we reviewed Birdflesh. If you're not aware, they are...
the most ridiculous grindcore band out there.
Yep.
I pretty much jumped on at their last full-length Extreme Graveyard Tornado, which is a fucking awesome name for an album. And it pretty much, if you like crossover thrash and grindcore, this is literally the perfect fucking band for you. The songs are short, they're hilarious, they're packed with thrashy riffs, and they are fucking intense.
Yes. And so then after Birdflesh was done playing, we of course went outside and had a smoke and, you know, walked around for a couple. When we turned around to go back in, the drummer from Birdflesh actually came out to meet us. He was like, "Hey, I saw you guys. You guys reviewed You guys are the champ." I showed him my tattoo and he was like, "Yeah!" And so we got to hang out with him for a minute and took some pictures, and that awesome, of course, dude. Was super cool. And then we went back inside and met the guitarist, who is another awesome individual who flat out said, he was like, "You guys don't know me, but I know you."
Dude, and like he literally like
crazy
perked up like, "Hey!"
Yep. And so that was, again, super cool. I mean...
We're going to BS with them for a bit. They're awesome dudes.
Yep.
Like, if you have a chance to see Birdflesh here in the States, go see it. It's a fucking party.
Actually, there's a video of them, again, on the MDF Facebook page. They went to the Hindu festival.
Yeah, it was a Hare Krishna thing, and they were singing Hare Krishna with the Hare Krishnas, and I think they even says like it's such an easy song because there's only like 2 words to it. We can do this.
But there's a good like 2 or 3 minute video of them singing, and it's fucking funny, and that was just cool. But of course, we wanted to check out the closer for the soundstage, the Almighty Cephalic Carnage. I'd never seen Cephalic Carnage before. what a fucking treat.
Those dudes love weed.
They love weed.
They were smoking it on stage. There were no fucks given. This is hydro grind, as they call it.
Yep, very high intensity. Of course, Danny Walker was playing drums for them, which I thought was cool. The last 10 minutes of that set were probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I actually videotaped. It was absolutely insane. Stage divers, multiple musicians, insanity. There was pure insanity.
Yeah, we had missed X Order because we're at the hotel trying not to die. We didn't die.
We didn't die.
But we missed X Order, which I kind of wish we had saw because Pat O'Brien showed up as their second guitarist, and hey, it's good hearing him out there playing music again. I'm glad that he's kind of rebounding from
Welcome back, Pat.
The incident.
From his thing. Yep.
But well, we missed him, but Kyle Thomas shows up on stage with fucking Cephalic Carnage and starts doing a song with them. They kind of like drew out this long sludge riff at the end and just kind of had fun with it. And then they sort of like started switching out instruments because I think a couple other members from X Order came on, and it just turned into a giant party. I think the front man literally just was smoking weed while Kyle was fucking
He lit
singing.
up a joint and smoked, and he kept lighting joints, and you take a hit and then pass them into the crowd, and like it was just a great way to close that festival.
It was the party.
Yep.
Like, it was a legit, a giant fucking party. And that was the whole vibe of this. And I have to say that every band on there thanked the living shit out of the promoters for MDF in general. Like, those guys are very loved, and we know that this might have been the last one. We're kind of hoping it isn't. We know 2023 is kind of off the dockets. But let's keep our fingers crossed for 2024 because this was so much fun. And I don't know, it's just cool seeing everyone come together on this one, and I had a blast.
The vibe of that overall festival was just happy, and everybody seemed, thankful that, we were back, of course, seeing something like this because we never thought we'd get here. We didn't know how long the bullshit was going to last with the pandemic and whatnot, and if we'd ever make it back to something like this. And everybody just came together. People were nice, and
It was awesome.
It was awesome. It was a great time.
I didn't want to leave, but I kind of did want to get back to my house.
Yep.
I don't know, I just didn't want to be on a diet of Advil for a while, which the diet still continues.
For sure.
My fucking feet still hurt.
I took some this morning because my feet are still on fire.
Same
but
here.
whatever.
So as we've been saying, we bought a fuck ton of merch. I mean, if we spent that much time in the fucking shopping area and skipping bands, what the fuck kind of metal fans would we be if we didn't buy a shitload of merch? Yeah, we went fucking kind of ham this time, but I mean, that was kind of part of the plan. Now, of course, they had a fuck ton of stuff: shirts, patches, flags, like literally anything metal oriented you can imagine. And well, one of us here has decided they want their own battle vest their own because they like mine so much. I think that's probably it.
It has nothing to do with him, actually. I just
Jealousy. It's okay.
Yep.
It's all right.
It's not. He's a piece of shit.
But patches were bought.
Yeah,
That's the main
patches.
thing. I only bought one, and it's this bad boy, my banner patch for the back now, a nice little immolation patch. But that is where my patch story ends, and this is where a giant chapter of patches starts right now.
Yeah. So I, decided I wanted a battle vest. So I guess I really didn't pay attention to how much real estate I would have to actually work with. And once I started buying patches, I kind of didn't stop. And I may have spent quite a decent sum of money on patches. And I may have enough patches for 2 or 3 vests, but that's not important. What's more important is what I bought. So, of course, you want to start every battle vest with a back patch and a banner patch, and so I did that. Of course, I got the giant skeletal remains back patch here, which, of course, not only am I a giant skeletal remains fan, but to celebrate how giant of a fan I am, I got a giant patch. So that starts the back.
Good.
And then my banner patch, of course, will be Suffocation, because I fucking love Suffocation. But then that's kind of where I went ham. I just started picking up patches. And so yeah, I got a smaller Suffocation one, which I will probably save for another vest. And then of course Deicide, because who doesn't want a Deicide patch on their battle vest? And then I found a Caius one.
Awesome.
Awesome. Of course, I am a giant Voivod fan, so what battle vest would be complete without Voivod? Necrophagist. carcass, dying fetus. The list goes on. Awesome, because that's awesome.
It rhymes too.
Yep, rhymes. Opeth. Brutal Truth. Morbid Angel.
How did you have to look at that for a while? We've been putting that logo up everywhere.
I know, because I don't worry about it. Obituary. Incantation. There's more. I may have lost my mind. Exodus. The Almighty Bolt Thrower. Benediction. Cryptopsy. Dead Congregation. Yeah, I mean, like right now we're probably at like 1.5 vests.
Yeah. And there's more.
There's more. Obscura. Power Trip. Bird Flesh, because I fucking love bird flesh. Municipal Waste. Cynic. And last but not least, Cannibal Corpse. So, yeah, right there. Right there is a lot. There's probably $200 worth of patches there. I mean,
this is a great Beyond starter kit.
Yes, right. He said make a starter kit, and so I did. But like I said, I didn't pay attention to the fact that I might run out of real estate quickly.
I think maybe he was thinking like, oh, I need a trench coat.
Yep, that's my trench battle. My battle trench. My battle coat. Battle coat.
One of those things.
One of those things. And then, of course, for the just randomized merch for me, I got an MDF decal for my car, because that's going to be cool. And then I bought the giant Mortician flag, which I'm not going to take out of there and unfurl, because I don't want to fold it and have to, yeah. But yeah, you'll see. Oh, and then when I bought the MDF decal, they gave me this free Maryland Deathfest tote bag.
To carry all your fucking patches.
To carry all my patches in, which is actually where I put my patches, to carry them here.
For official MDF stuff, I got in line early on the first day to get one of the hoodies, and I absolutely love this design. And of course, it features all the bands in the back, and honestly, MDF stuff sold out super fucking quick.
Yes, really quick.
Maybe they did not anticipate the...
I think actually at the midpoint of the first day they sold out of everything, and I don't think they anticipated that.
I mean, the turnout was great. The crowd was fucking huge. But yeah, I believe you can still order stuff, at least pre-order stuff for the next batch, because they do want to make some more to make sure everyone has a chance at getting them. But yeah, this is the part where we went ham on shirts. We're going to open up, because we bought these on 2 different days. I don't even know who the fuck bought it first.
But we both bought
the same Power Trip
Power Trip shirt, which happens.
It does.
Sometimes when you go to shows all with the same dude all the time, you're gonna wind up with the same shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens.
But those were the only... Well, I mean, we had one other that was kind of similar. But
it had a slightly different design on it.
Slightly different design. So, go ahead. Show them the next shirt you got.
So the next shirt in line that I got, and I think this was on the day that I found a booth that had 5 shirts for $50, but I couldn't find 5 shirts because he didn't have my size, so he gave me a deal on 3 of them. So, Megadeth, I actually don't own, or didn't own a Megadeth shirt prior to now, so I got this one. It's got a pretty cool design on it. Nothing on the back, but who cares?
And then I was hunting down specific underground stuff, and I saw this one for Therian's first album, Of Darkness. I absolutely love this album. I don't like much else that they've done, but this album is golden. And this one actually does have something on the back. Cool picture of the band. So yeah, this was an awesome find. Fucking love this one.
And then I found a Tombs shirt. I, of course, saw Tombs a couple years ago with Crowbar, and they fucking destroyed. I love Tombs.
Great EP.
A great EP, and a great shirt.
And managed to snag one for Mortiferum. This was the one Discourse from Psychotic Depths. I didn't have one for this album. I just had one for the newer album. And they were having trouble getting merch in because the crowd was so fucking huge. So I was like, you know what? I don't have one for this album, and it is absolutely awesome. And I love that design. It's like you're looking out of Cthulhu's butthole, which he needs to wipe a little bit better. There's a little bit of The
A
greenness
little bit
here.
of schmutz there, but I mean...
Just, yeah. Clean it up.
Invest in the dude wipes.
Yeah, dude wipes. There you go.
And then I've become such a giant Hooded Menace fan over the last couple of years, so I wanted to grab a Hooded Menace shirt.
I like that shirt.
This was like the only one they had. In fact, they sold... This was the display model, so... Yeah, and there's nothing on the back of this either, but who cares?
And then I got one for Magruder Grind, which I hadn't seen any Magruder Grind shirts. I think this one was at the Decibel Magazine booth, and I believe this was only $15. Their shirts were super fucking cheap. But yeah, I fucking love Magruder Grind. I really wish they would put out more albums, but at least I got one of their shirts finally.
And then, of course, I went to the festival with the intention of finding a Dead Congregation shirt, and I couldn't find one in my size, and it wasn't until the last day that I found the Dead Congregation shirt. And that's fucking awesome.
Yes. And then Season of Mist actually had a really cool booth. I think that's probably where you got your Hooded Menace one.
Yes. Yep.
But I saw this Carnation shirt, and I fucking love Carnation. I love all their albums so far. It's great fucking young, talented fucking old school death metal band, and yeah, I dig this one.
And then, of course, here is where we run into a little bit of similarity, as he got one with alternating print, but I got a Carcass shirt finally. And Riga Putrefaction nonetheless, so...
I'm so glad that is like legit black and white.
Yep, and
otherwise you'd have more to explain to people.
Legit black and white. So, yep, yeah, right. Yeah, if it was a full color thing, I might have a lot to explain to people.
Is that a rotted dick on there?
Right.
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
Stop asking questions. And because I missed the Punch and Stench, or not Punch and Stench for legal reasons, there's a lot of that going on. I saw this one, and this is one of the early Punch and Stench albums that I've listened to. For God, Your Soul, For Me, Your Flesh. And I just thought this was a really sick print. It even has a title on the back and the back cover of the album, essentially. And yeah, it's just sick. Fucking Punch and Stench is just disgusting. I fucking love that band.
And then again, sticking with actual MDF merch, I went ahead and bought the MDF shirt for this year. And I really like that color, that print on there, all the bands on the back, which is pretty neat. It's pretty neat to have seen all this and to have been there for this event, and I'm thankful.
Amazing.
Yep.
And yeah, when we saw Rodivore, I liked them, so I bought a shirt for them, and this is for their Lone Studio full length, which again, we might just do a fucking retro review some point.
Mm-hmm.
But really dug the band. I even bought the CD too. So yeah, fucking cool, fucking just sick looking death metal shirt.
And then I bought a Devangelic shirt. Of course, these guys are just disgustingly heavy.
Brutal.
And I wanted one, and so I bought it.
And that's the story, guys.
And of course, something on the back, unveiling the ominous divinity. Yeah, this is a sweet shirt.
And this one was one of my favorite ones to find. I needed a new Celtic Frost shirt, and I got the Emperor's Return one, which... Yeah, no, I'm gonna wear it some places. I don't care if there's fucking titties on it. I'm wearing this. Yeah, this is an awesome fucking shirt, and even sports the logo on the back. But yeah, Celtic Frost rules. Tom G Warrior fucking rules, and yeah, killer shirt.
And then I don't own an Napalm Death shirt, but I do now, and it's a long sleeve, so this will go well with my long sleeve collection. And then of course something on the back.
And you got shit on the sleeves too.
Yep,
For those who don't know,
shit
this
on the
is
sleeves.
Harmony Corruption.
Harmony Corruption.
Killer album.
On Death. Yep, so another good find.
And speaking of old fucking grind, I found a Repulsion shirt. I'm so fucking happy. I fucking love this. This is just a fucking sick looking shirt. And I like the back design too. Like, this is just, essential grind listening. I think any fan of grindcore needs to listen to it. For reference, go see our retro review of it, because we had a lot of fucking fun listening to that one. But yeah, sick fucking shirt.
And then what shirt collection would be complete without a Possessed Seven Churches shirt? I'm stoked to have not only found this, but be able to wear it. And then, of course, the back has the track listing on it.
Should get the fucking sweatpants to match it.
And, yeah, he's got the Possessed Seven Churches sweatpants. But if I get them both, I'll look too much like him, and... No.
They're not going to mistake it for me.
Not.
It's because I can grow a beard.
Nope. Fuck you, okay? One day there will be a beard here, alright? I realize I'm in my 40s and don't have a beard, but There will be a beard. It'll happen. I'm gonna wake up one day with a full face of hair and be excited.
Someone else's pubes glued to your face. That's the only way it's gonna happen. No, I got some dudes working on that for you.
Right there, bud. Right there.
So anyway, back to shirts. Yeah, we pretty much got the same carcass shirt. It's a little bit different in terms of the print. Like I think this one's a little bit more.
That one's a little bit more silver versus black and white. So.
But yeah, again, black and white, so I don't have to explain all the gross shit on this cover. I still joke the poster of this album that I have hanging in my kitchen is a scratch and sniff. So no one's taking me up on that because they see the rotted everything on it. Like,
When I lived here, the one and only time my parents ever came over here. That was probably why. And my mom looked at that poster in the kitchen and just was like,
oh.
So that was that. So yeah, got a Coroner shirt. I'm so glad I got a Coroner shirt.
That's such an awesome album.
Especially after, finally seeing Coroner live. Like, yeah.
All right, this will kick off a theme because we decided we needed some more bolt thrower shirts. And I wanted one specifically with the OG Realm of Chaos fucking artwork, the old school Warhammer art, and I got it, and this looks so fucking sweet. I love the detail on it. And then I even got the Chaos eye on the back.
Actually, the day we got to the hotel, there was a Russian dude wearing that same shirt.
It's beautiful. Yep. He has great taste.
It's a beautiful shirt.
But yeah, super fucking stoked for that one.
Yep. And then, of course, to follow in the footsteps, not of that album per se, but I got the Bolt Thrower War Master shirt, and then on the back, of course, it's got the track listing and War Master, and that's pretty fucking sick.
That's like the best fucking Bolt Thrower album, in my opinion.
Yep.
Which is why I also got a War Master shirt for Bolt Thrower. And I fucking love this album. It's like one of my favorite old school death metal albums. I mean, songs about war and destruction, and it's fucking just, I love it. It's awesome. So yeah, another Bolt Thrower shirt, because fuck it, why not?
Bolt Thrower.
Bolt Thrower, this next song's about war. This following song after it is about war and destruction and more war.
Bolt Thrower. In a nutshell.
And then I got, because I've always wanted, a Decrepit Birth shirt, and I found a Decrepit Birth shirt, the Polarity album, and yeah,
sick album.
I mean, it's Decrepit Birth. What more do you want? And there's nothing on the back, but I don't care.
And then, because we had more money, we bought more shirts. After Enforced played, I got the last one they had for this one, and this is their official Maryland Deathfest 2022 shirt.
It's pretty badass.
And God, man, they fucking absolutely kicked ass. I mean, go see Enforced. They're fucking remarkable. Like, I have not seen a bad set or heard a bad riff from that band.
Ever.
So, yeah, badass fucking shirt.
And then as part of that 3 for $30 deal that I found on shirts, I bought another Vader shirt, and that's a pretty fucking sick, actually, picture on there too. Big old Satan coming out.
Satan's been hitting the fucking gym.
Yep, look at him. Look at Buff Satan.
Gains, bro. Gains.
And because Skeletal Remains fucking absolutely whooped ass, I had to snag a Skeletal Remains shirt. So, yeah, off of the last album, which is fucking disgusting. And we got a cool picture of the band on the back.
Yep. Although that picture of the band doesn't have 2 current members.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of rotation in the band members, but I don't care.
Right.
Because this album fucking rules.
And I love all the band members that are in there currently, so who cares?
They don't have a bad album.
Nope.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that too. Go get any Skeletal Remains album and you'll enjoy it.
And then last but not least, if you saw me at the fest on the last day, I wore pretty much the creme de la creme, I think, of my shirt collection, because I absolutely love this band, Disincarnate.
Dreams of the Carrying Kind.
Yep. This was the only shirt they had, too. And I made sure to snag that up because I love Disincarnate. And then on the back, it's actually really cool. It was their U.S. tour in 1993, and all their tour stop dates. I was 12. but yeah, Dude, I fucking love Disincarnate. It's a good find.
Absolutely fucking killer album. That was our first retro review, too.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't think he'd ever heard of that until I played it for him. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Because I kept confusing it for Discarnate.
Yeah.
Which is something totally different. And I thought, well, I've heard Discarnate, so, okay. But yeah, and Disincarnate rules.
Absolutely amazing.
Rules.
And my last shirt here is a Mortician one. I believe this is an exclusive design they had for MDF this year. Some foul, gooey, sticky looking, rotting thing reaching out for you. And guess what? On the back, he's closer. So you didn't run away fast enough. There he is. And he brought a different Mortician logo with him. But yeah, slick shirt. Again, Mortician fucking crushed. So yeah. And that is pretty much the end of the merch. Thank God, because we bought a lot. Like, that was like the down payment on a fucking car.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. But I mean, that was my intention. We'd been, this was supposed to happen in 2020 and it didn't, so it gave us a little bit of extra time to save some money. And I had full intentions of going to Maryland Deathfest and buying a new wardrobe and buying some patches, although I may have gone a little overboard. But who cares? That was the point of MDF, was not only going to see a bunch of bands, but of course supporting those bands and buying merch, because who doesn't love a bunch of fucking metal merch?
Yeah, and the whole thing is a celebration. Like, it is a giant fucking celebration of being, musical outcasts.
Yep.
Mainstream has ignored fucking metal forever, and occasionally you got a band that does break through, but for the most part, it's kind of an underground eclectic thing with underground eclectic fans. And these fests were pure fun. I mean, hell, I think it was the first night back. We were walking back, we got approached by a hooker.
A lady of the night?
Lady of the evening, ill repute, whatever. She literally came up to us like, well, you guys are the only ones that were smiling on the way back, because everyone else is like stern metal faces, like, oh no, that's just kind of how we look.
Yeah, we're just smiling because we were having a good time, and she talked for a while and then started to follow us back to the hotel, and then I kind of knew what was going on anyway.
I knew, and I was just like, all right, she's gonna follow us, but she's gonna have to make the pitch at some point before we get to our hotel. Yep. And she made the pitch. She wanted to know that you guys you want to party? Want to party together? Party with both of you? And we're like, no. We're from Ohio. We don't party much.
We don't party, and as long as I've known this dude, that's not fucking happening. We're not partying together, and good night.
In hindsight, what I should have said was like, I left my dick at home. I kind of forgot it when I was packing. So, I can't. Sorry. I feel bad. But no. But by the time we had rejected her, I turned back around and she was already gone. It's like, well, best of luck getting another John or something.
Yep.
A different John.
She could have stood in the middle of the autopsy pit. Who knows?
Who knows? Hopefully that wasn't a freebie. But unfortunately, this wasn't all joyous. In fact, there was one moment in here that was extraordinarily devastating. Day 2, when we went to go see No Mas at the soundstage, a young kid, a young metal fan, chose to take his own life and jumped off of the parking lot at the soundstage and fell to his death. And it happened very close to us. We were a few seconds away from actually seeing it. Our friend Chris, or Crypt over at Melomania, it literally happened about 10 feet from him, and he turned around just to see the body, like he thought someone was just laying down, and then he saw all the gore,
all the things that were happening. Yep.
It's just incredibly sad.
Yep. I actually, once I figured out what happened, I saw his, cell phone land in the middle of the street, and then I heard the body hit, which is an unforgettable sound. But I guess what we want to say here at Thralls of Metal is, if you guys need to talk, please reach out.
Yeah, reach out.
Nick and I are pretty much, we're we have phones, we're on social media all the time. Please send us a message.
Talk to someone.
Talk to somebody, because it doesn't have to be that way. Things do get better over time.
They can. Life is, you're sort of guaranteed tragedy. You're going to get adversity, but it can get better.
Yep.
That's the main thing.
Yep. I've battled depression myself over the years. Depression and anxiety, I faced a similar fate back a couple years ago. it does get better. And please reach out and talk to somebody. There will be a link down below for this video for the GoFundMe, actually, that's set up for his memorial and funeral costs and whatever.
And it turns out one of our fans that came up and talked to us, that was his friend too. So this especially hits hard because we actually got to talk to someone that knew this, kid. And, I mean, my heart goes out to you, buddy. And, I hope things get better for you because you had... Well, kind of a manic weekend. Like, there was a lot of reason to be happy, but there was definitely a huge reason to be sad as hell. But yeah, we definitely wanted to talk about that because it was something that happened that I don't think anyone's going to forget about that festival. As much as there was so much awesome shit going on there. But that was pretty much it in terms of the festival. We stayed up all fucking night and went to the airport and we went to the wrong fucking gate.
But we did get to meet one of the creators of MDF. We got to meet Evan's mom in the airport at the wrong gate, which probably wouldn't have happened if we went to the correct gate. And, of course, a wonderful lady reminded me a lot of Nick's own mother. Just talking about, how much, he enjoyed putting the festival together and how long he's been doing it. And that was super cool. That was kind of a really cool way to cap off the week. Yep.
It was cool hearing how supportive she was, and she actually was the one that ran all the merch and everything like that, and like sold it from home when it came down the mail order. And just hearing about her son's passion for it, and even after it ended, him saying maybe to the effect like, maybe it's not, maybe it's just going to take a break. So there is hope for MDF to come back. Don't hold your breath about 2023. Honestly, anyone involved in putting this on deserves a break. Because
we're about to figure it out ourselves with Denver Deathfest coming, which
it's a lot of work.
Of course, won't be on the same grandiose scale, of course, that Maryland Deathfest was, or Quebec, or Scandinavia, or California, or the few places that it was. But we'll figure it out for ourselves here shortly.
So that was pretty much the whole experience in a nutshell, and it was great. We are sad to see it go on hiatus, but we look forward to it possibly returning here in the future. So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We're also on Patreon if you'd like to help us out there. There'll be a link down below. We're going to get on there and throw on some fun scenarios here soon. But
there's going to be something really cool coming.
Yeah. Also, if you like one of our kick-ass shirts, there's a link down below to thrallsmetal.com, and there's also a link down there to the Denver Deathfest. Take it away, John.
So, there's a link for the Denver Deathfest. We are accepting band submissions until the 15th of June. While I can't say who's on the bill thus far, I can say that there are some pretty killer acts there. And if you're in a band and you want to submit, fucking go for it, dude, because Thralls gets to, in essence, pick the lineup. That will be occurring on September 30th, October 1st, and October 2nd of 2022. It's something we greatly look forward to, so, man, Denver Deathfest. Who knew?
Sounds like it could be a lot of fucking fun. We will update you when we get lineup set or any lineup changes. We'll let you guys know, but it'll probably somewhere be in, like, mid June here.
Probably towards like mid to late June, we'll start giving updates going on. But of course, you can also check that out on the website. The website will have all the updates for the bands and whatnot. So,
So with that, I'd like to thank every last one of you, everyone that came up and fucking bullshit with us, talked to us, shook our hands, fist bumped, all that stuff. And of course, all those who didn't because you weren't there, but you're with us in spirit, commenting and fucking just being absolutely awesome.
Yep.
Thank you all, and with that, once again, we will catch you later.